Welcome to Pepperl+Fuchs Plugged In, where automation professionals can stay in touch with the latest enhancements in sensing, data communication, and control.
Welcome everybody to a new episode of the Pepperl+Fuchs Product Reveal Series. Today I have Mike McCabe with me. He's the product manager for RFID systems. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Helga. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks, Mike. So, Mike, RFID, what did you bring for us today?
Today, I have our new line of RFID handheld readers.
Okay, I guess handheld is fairly obvious what that means. Just in case someone has not been familiar with RFID yet or is not familiar with RFID yet, could you tell us what RFID is? What is it all about?
Sure. So on a very basic level, RF stands for radio frequency, and then ID, of course, means identification. And it's used to identify something or store information on something via an RFID tag. So that process is known as reading or writing to a tag. And tags, they can really go almost anywhere. So you can put them on tools or assets or pallets, etc. Now, this is kind of an alternative. This solution is kind of like an alternative to barcode scanners, where the benefit is that no line of sight is needed. And traditionally, the readers, which, they'll read or write to a tag, traditionally there are stationary readers or handheld readers. And the handheld readers are what we are talking about today.
Okay, and I imagine because it is radio frequency based, pollution, dirt, anything that would mess with optical systems is not an issue in RFID.
Exactly. Perfect for an industrial, harsh environment.
That's the markets that we're playing in. Our applications are in those tough, dirty, rugged environments.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. So let's then focus on the handheld part. Tell us a bit about the current problem of the market. What's going on and why did we need a new RFID handheld?
Sure. So one of the big glaring problems, of course, is the operating system. A lot of handhelds have been based on Windows CE, but Microsoft came out and said, well, we're not supporting Windows CE anymore. So shoot, that throws a problem. Another thing is on the market, there's also, I would say, cheap, non-rugged handhelds. And we find that that's really not what our customers need. We just said that it's harsh environments and it's tough environments. And so we really want something that's not going to die within the first month because it gets beat up a little bit. And I would say the third problem that I see is not all the handhelds provided by all the companies have ultra high frequency capabilities. And so that means...
Sorry, got to interrupt you here. So,
sure.
Ultra high frequency, what does that even mean? Compared to what?
Yeah. Compared to, let's say, low frequency or high frequency. And so basically, when you look at RFID, you kind of have two categories. You have short range and you have long range. So is your tag really close to you, or is your tag a little bit further away?
Give us a sense of what close means.
Oh, sure. So that could be a few inches away, whereas high frequency and low frequencies will deal with that distance. Ultra high frequency will deal with distance that might be a couple feet away or a couple meters away. And of course, that's based on a variety of factors such as tag size and your environment, but that's the general idea.
Okay. And I must believe that because these systems can go longer distance, it opens up new application areas. Can you give us 3-4 application areas where this handheld is, in your opinion, best utilized?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'll even cover all frequencies, but I'll touch base on a specific one for ultra high frequency as well. So I think some applications that we might run into that are great examples for where to use this, one might be with the use of AGVs, for instance. Now, what happens with AGVs is a lot of times to keep costs down, they put a simple RFID reader maybe on the bottom of it, and it reads the pucks or RFID tags that are in the floor. Actually, it could be used for a guidance system or so forth. But what happens if there's a problem with that puck, with that RFID tag? what if you have to write information to it? Well, tag is in the floor. So instead of maybe ripping out that tag, maybe you can come along with a handheld reader, program the information that you want, and be done with it. So
Okay,
a lot
good.
easier in that situation.
Okay. Another one?
Sure, sure. Another thing I think involves when you want to make setup easier. And what I think about is when pallets come in. Pallets, when they arrive, usually have a number that's printed on them. And what they like to do is take that number from the pallet and then put it onto the RFID tag that they affix to the pallet. Now, it's a lot easier to just stand there with a handheld reader and program this information. It's a lot easier than picking up these pallets and taking them all over to a stationary reader where the same task can be done. So
And incidentally, if I remember correctly, these types of applications are called write once, read many, because you write them one time, you put that number on, and then you treat it as a read-only system.
That's right. That's right. Of course.
Okay, good. Do you have another example for us?
Sure. Yeah. Another one is assisting with rework. So let's say there's something going down the conveyor line that's being manufactured and there's an issue that's noticed. Okay, well, go ahead and flip a maintenance bit on the RFID tag and then take that asset off the line and direct it to a rework station. Now, when it's at that rework station, the workers will perform the work that's needed on the asset. And what's nice is at that point, they can take their handheld reader and program onto the tag whatever information would have originally have been done at the station where it was diverted from. So now the rework has been done and you can place that asset back onto the line as if nothing ever happened.
That is nice. And you know what? I should mention one thing. These types of applications, they work, of course, best if there is a customized data input screen on the computer, on the handheld. And I think we can help our customers by developing customized input screens for them. So if a customer has that, I think we want to encourage them to come to us and ask us if we can help, right?
Absolutely. Yep. We have ways of developing custom solutions. So, let us know what you need and we will find a way to make it work.
Excellent. So, one more example and then we move on.
Oh, sure. So, one other example might be more directed towards ultra high frequency, where I mentioned you have a little bit greater of a distance to try to read or write to a tag. There are a lot of different types of seats that go into cars. And each of those requires a different die, a different mold. And so there's shelves sometimes that consist of nothing but these dies and these molds. And you have to be able to locate the specific one that you need at a specific time and hopefully not waste a bunch of time sorting and sifting through all of these dies or molds. So with the handheld, you can search for a specific tag that you're looking for. You can walk down the line, and then when you get kind of close, maybe the reader beeps a little bit, and you can be alerted that somewhere within that close vicinity is what you are looking for.
Oh, that's clever. That's clever. Excellent. Good. Now, we've talked about the problems with current solutions on the market. Now, tell us about the P&F solution. What makes it great?
Sure. So it's built on an industrial Android operating system. So why that's good is people are already familiar with that. And what's nice is since it's built for the industrial environment, there's also not a bunch of extra apps. Candy Crush doesn't come preloaded on it, so your workers aren't going to sit there and playing games all day. And it's nice because it also kind of looks like a big phone. You're already familiar with that kind of look and feel. So it makes it a little bit easier to get used to and start implementing.
Okay. Now, when customers are going to, and we'll talk about our website in a second, at least I want to ask you about it, but when customers are looking for these products and they come and visit us on the web, what will they see? What are the options that we're offering?
Okay, sure. So there are two basic options. One of them comes with a camera and one of them does not. And the benefit
Why is
of having the
why is the
camera.
camera a good idea?
Oh yeah, sure. So the camera may be helpful. Let's say you are looking for something that maybe was noted as having a defect, and you want to go out and maybe take a picture of it to supplement the data that you are able to provide to somebody else. It's a nice feature to be able to have a camera, because cameras, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Okay.
So those are going to be the two models that you'll see. And now what you'll also see are the actual readers that are attached to the handheld unit. So it's a modular system. And why that's nice is, if you picture it, you have your phone in your hand. Okay, so that's the basic unit. And then depending on what frequency you want, you can attach a little device onto the top of that phone-looking device, which is dependent on the frequency that you need. So I can attach the reader on top that is going to scan low-frequency tags, and then I can take it off, and then I can attach the one that's going to read ultra-high frequency tags. So you get a unit that is able to read low frequency, high frequency, or ultra high frequencies, which is awesome.
That's very similar to our stationary setup, which gives our customers the ability to learn once, use many times. There's no need to relearn just by switching frequencies. It's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. So remember, I asked you, I said we're going to talk about website. What's on our website right now?
Oh, sure. So right now you can go on there. The easiest way to find these handheld units is to go to identification and then RFID, and then underneath of that is the handheld readers section. But you can also search for the modular handheld unit either by typing in IC-HH51 or IC-HH52. But on the website, there's also the charging units, there's extra batteries, and then, of course, the low frequency, high frequency, and ultra high frequency readers to attach to it.
Great. So, as always, before I asked you the last question, you think about it while I try to summarize what you brought here to the table.
Okay.
You remember we close out every episode by a 6 or less word statement that summarizes what's important about the episode. So you think about that while I try to summarize it. You discussed a new rugged industrial handheld based on the Android platform that can read tags at the low frequency, the high frequency, and the ultra high frequency simply by connecting the base unit to a one or the other reader unit. And then on top of that, the handhelds do come with a camera option to tie RFID data and visual data together for whatever the reason may be, diagnostics, proof that some area has been watched, or detect errors. I think that just about covers it, I hope.
I think so.
Good. So now it's your turn. What is the 6-word statement you want our listeners to take away from today's episode?
Sure. Pepperl+Fuchs has a full RFID portfolio. And what I mean by that is that we have tags, we have the readers, we have the evaluation units, and now we have a new line of the handheld readers. And so really, if you're looking to get started with RFID, feel free to come to us, ask us any questions. We can get you started through everything that you're going to need, because we do have a full RFID portfolio that we're very proud of.
Thank you very much, Mike. And thanks everybody for listening. And we'll see you soon with another episode of the Pepperl+Fuchs product reveal. Thank you. Take care.
Take care. Bye now.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Pepperl+Fuchs Plugged In. Please subscribe to our channel and never miss hearing about the latest innovations in factory automation.